Okay, this is weird. Remember when I said that I wanted the game to be bigger? Well, I guess I managed, but I don't think it's supposed to be stretched out like this. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but it is stretched out. I didn't do it on purpose. That's fine. Let's talk to everybody. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, let's accuse everybody. That's what we're here for, I guess.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Owen did his research well. The accusation is absolutely true. I don't see that you've earned the right to any details, though.
Fair enough. What, Mr.
That'll be all,
Lombard?
Mr. Lombard.
Lombard, what were his accusations? This is what happens when you go to Scotland for about a month in between recording sessions. You forget all about everything. Was Mr. Lombard? Mr. Lombard, let's see, do we have guests? We only have 4 on here. That's fine. So this is the judge, isn't it?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Fellow got hold of a detestable rumor, nothing more. Arthur Richmond was one of my officers. I sent him on a reconnaissance, he was killed. Natural course of events in wartime.
Good evening, General.
Oh, okay, no, general.
Any truth to the
This is
accusation
the judge,
against you?
okay.
I remember Seaton perfectly well. Playwright, charged with the murder of a chorus girl. He was found guilty, hung himself in his cell 3 days later, saved the Crown the expense of doing it for him.
Good evening, Judge.
I love the contrast, like, just talking about good thing he killed himself. Good evening. She allegedly killed it, like it's not like she killed, but she had a child in her care and she was out smooching with the child's brother. So I do remember her.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
About that child, Cyril Hamilton. I was nursery governess to him.
Will you tell me how it happened?
I'd like to tell you. Cyril was forbidden to swim out far. One day, my attention was distracted. I couldn't get there in time. It was awful. But it wasn't my fault. At the inquest, the coroner exonerated me. Oh, and his mother. She was so kind. If she didn't blame me, why should this awful thing be said?
Are you sure you're telling me everything?
I'm telling you all I'm going to, Mr. Narracott.
Fair enough.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I was engaged through the Skilled Women's Agency to be Mrs. Owen's personal secretary for the remainder of the summer. Then I hope to return to teaching.
Thank you for your time, Miss Claythorne.
Yeah, okay, so everybody else, he just says thank you and goodbye, but
Will you tell
So-
me how it happened?
let's go back to
It was
him.
written up in the papers at the time. A story of self-preservation, pure and simple. A hunting party lost in the bush. The great white hunter checks the food supplies, assesses his chances, and clears out on his own.
Leaving 21 men to die.
Not very Puka Sahib, I'm afraid.
Puka Sahib? What does that mean? Puka Sahib is a slang term taken from Hindi words for absolute, first class, absolutely genuine for English users, and master, but meaning true gentleman or excellent fellow. Okay. Yeah, no, that wasn't very Puka Sahib of you.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen's attorney, a man named Archibald Morris, rang up one day. Wanted to give me 100 guineas to join this house party. I was to put myself at Owen's disposal in case my rather specialized talents were required.
What specialized talents would those be?
You might say I'm a good man in a scrap.
Thank you, Lombard.
Okay. So, what about the others? Hello, you. You are she Ethel, or is she? I don't remember you. Miss Claythorne. That's right. She had doubts about the Orins. She was already starting investigating, like, what was happening here. I don't remember what she did though.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Beatrice Taylor was in service with me. Not a nice girl, as I found out too late. Loose. No morals whatsoever.
Will you tell me how it happened?
It was some time before I found out she was what they call in trouble. Her parents were decent folk, too. I'm glad to say they did not condone her behavior when I told them of it.
What happened to Beatrice?
Naturally, I did not keep her an hour under my roof. No one shall ever say that Emily Brent condoned immorality.
How did she die?
Not content with having one sin on her conscience, she committed a still graver sin. She took her own life, threw herself in the river. If she had behaved like a decent young woman, she'd be alive today.
You have no regrets?
Wow.
She made an excellent breakfast. I miss that. Fresh juice every day.
That's your regret? Well, I don't think that counts as a regret. So, oh no, Miss. Oh, wait, no. Miss Claythorne is Vera. She's Brent. Emily Brent. Miss Brent. There we go. Yeah, my bad. So.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I received a letter with a signature that was not very easy to read. It purported to be from a woman I'd met at a certain summer resort 2 or 3 years ago. I am quite certain I have never met or become friendly with anyone of the name of Owen.
I overheard you mention St. Trednick to Miss Claythorne.
I was staying at a seaside hotel near St. Trednick this same week of August 4 years ago. That boy Cyril Hamilton drowned near there. It was the talk of the town. His half-brother was much older. Hugo, I think his name was. Cyril was a vile child, by all accounts, but first in line for the family title and estates. When he died, it all went to
Wait.
Hugo. He was just about Miss Claythorne's age.
Why?
There was talk of something between them.
You're suggesting Vera let the boy drown so the man she loved could inherit?
That would be idle gossip.
What?
I don't indulge in idle gossip. I've only told you the facts of the case as I remember them.
I won't take up any more of your time, Miss Brent.
Why would the child, like the second... Why would the second child inherit things instead of the first one? Was the first one, like, an illegitimate child or something? I don't know. So, he is... Is he the doctor?
Any truth to the accusation against you?
Look, Narracott, if that's what you want to call yourself.
Oh no, that's...
The rules have
yeah.
changed. Can't you see that? The past is past. It's the present we should be worrying about.
Yeah, that's the guy that
Something is not right
has
here.
something against my brother.
Will you tell me how it happened?
All right, all right. Perhaps I was doing the odd favor for the Purcells. But if your brother was framed, I had nothing to do with it. Yes, they paid me to perjure myself about Landor. Thanks to them, I was able to put enough away to set up my own detective agency. Nothing fancy, but I've been straight ever since, I swear.
Landor died.
He got penal servitude for life and died in Dartmoor a year later. Not my fault he was such a delicate man.
Wow.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
I run a little detective agency in Plymouth these days. I'm on a job to protect Mrs. Owen's jewels, the letter said. Mrs. Owen, my foot. I don't believe there's any such person.
Good evening, Mr. Blore.
I love that each of them, I mean, not all of them, but most of them are just like, no, I don't even know, like they don't have any, they don't feel sorry at all for the people that died. They're just like, you know, they could have survived if they weren't such a snowflake or something. Like, come on now. A person died. You could have a little more respect. Okay. How do I... Okay, let's talk to Hughes. Who are you again? Oh my god, there's so many people.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
The name sounded vaguely familiar. I expect it will come to me.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Got a wire from a pal of mine, Badger Barclay. Surprised me at the time because I had an idea the old horse had gone to Norway. Told me to roll up here.
That will be all, Marston.
I think Marston is the younger guy that is all like, you know, debauchery or something. I don't know. It's the... I do have... Yeah. Young, reckless fool. Lucky there aren't any roads on the island.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
It's true we were the only ones there the night Miss Brady died. But she was always in poor health. Always. From the time we came to her.
Will you tell me how it happened?
There was a storm, as fierce as the one brewing outside right now when she was taken bad. The telephone was out of order. I went for the doctor on foot, but he got there too late.
Were you mentioned in the will?
Barely. Certainly not what we were led to believe. She was just saying it, you see, to ensure our devotion to her. Beg pardon. I'm not sure what came over me just then. The strain of tonight, I expect, and worry over Mrs. Rogers, of course.
See, at least he is being decent about it. Like, okay, he's still salty that he wasn't really in the will, but at least, and also they probably did do it, like they probably are all guilty, but at least he's faking it and pretending like he's sorry about it. Or maybe he really is sorry. Like, he probably still did it, but he's sorry that he did. You know?
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
We expected to finally meet Mr. and Mrs. Owen today. Ethel didn't want to take the job, but I insisted. I'm beginning to wish I'd listened to her.
Very kind of you to give me your time, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, you're the only decent person here, I think. Although, this is Armstrong, right? The doctor, Dr. Armstrong. He's also not bad, I guess. He's decent.
Any truth to the accusation against you?
It's a matter of interpretation, you understand. But I'd have to say, yes.
Will you tell me how it happened?
Yeah, it's
Elderly.
just...
Poor devil. I'd been up all night with an emergency case. My nerves were shot, hands shaking.
He's just a
But I had to
surgeon,
operate.
and it
I
was a
had to try
surgery
and
wrong.
save her. I had a
gone
pick
wrong.
me up or two to steady myself, but I bungled it. It wasn't the drink, I swear. It was an accident. Could have happened to anyone in my profession.
Oh right, he drank before the surgery, and yeah, he was too drunk to do the surgery or something like that.
What brought you here to Shipwreck Island?
Owen sent me a note, asking me to have a look at his wife, who's been suffering from arthritis and muscle spasms.
I mean, listen, this is horrible. Like, having drunk before surgery, it is kind of like killing her kind of on purpose. Like, you do know that if you drink before doing a surgery, of course you're gonna bungle it up. Like, no matter how good you are. So it is kind of like doing it on purpose. I mean, you know. But at the same time, he didn't actually do it on purpose. I don't know what I'm saying here. Like, some of the others seem like they purposefully did it. Like Vera, for example. If she did it to make Hugo inherit everything, then that is clearly on purpose. I don't know. We'll see. So, I'm just saying, some of these are more severe than others, I guess.
What was the gossip concerning the Seaton case?
I'm not one to spread gossip to just anyone about a man as distinguished as Justice Wargrave. If I was certain about it, perhaps. But I'm not.
Good evening, Doctor.
Okay, so basically, all of them are like, I don't know you. Who the hell are you to be asking me these questions? Although they did answer a lot of them, so.
Interesting history Shipwreck Island has. I'd studied up on it before I came down.
What are the names of those two people I'm accused of killing?
John and Lucy Combs. I made a note of it.
Must have been a couple of kids I ran over near Cambridge. Beastly bad luck.
For them or for you?
Well, I was thinking for me, but of course you're right, sir. It was damned bad luck on them. Of course it was a pure
Oh my
accident.
god,
They
see?
rushed out of some cottage or other. Beastly nuisance.
They all act like, oh,
English
okay,
roads are
like,
hopeless, of course. Can't get up a decent pace on them.
they don't have
Well,
a
anyway, it
shred
wasn't
of
my fault.
empathy or even sympathy. What's happening here now? That looks horrifying. Is he drunk? Oh. Oh. That's not what I remembered.
This man is dead.
That was sudden. I did know that the first one was gonna die of poisoning within the drink, but I didn't think it was gonna be him. Can I please investigate the body? Fine, let's talk to this guy.
Did Marston choke to death? You can call it choking if you like. He died of asphyxiation.
Oh, right,
now.
asphyxiation. It's not poisoning.
Was Marston poisoned?
Can't say exactly. Everything points to one of the cyanides. No distinctive smell of prussic acid. Probably potassium cyanide. It acts pretty well instantaneously.
Was there something in the whiskey?
Yes, without a doubt.
Do you think it was suicide?
No.
Seems like it.
Seems like it. No, it didn't.
Could he have been murdered?
Not my line of country. I'm a doctor, not a detective.
I'll speak to the detective as well, but I don't think we need to understand that somebody did kill him.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
Not I. Personally or professionally.
What do you think that record means?
A disgraceful and heartless practical joke, I suppose.
Thank you for your time, Doctor.
So, okay, where's the rhyme? Because one choked his little self, and then there were 9. So there we go.
Do you think it was
Why
suicide?
is that even a question?
You conduct yourself well, Mr. Narracott, if you don't mind my saying so. Mr. Blore has told us that you are not what you appear, yet you told him you were not a detective.
No, sir. But I've read many detective novels. I even had one of those junior
Me.
detective kits when I was a boy. Magnifying glass, fingerprint powder.
Junior detective kit. Wonderful.
Ah, an
Yes,
amateur
I've
sleuth,
played
then.
so
You
much
appear to have
as
something of a
attorney
hit
and
point.
Professor Layton,
the
so now I
suicide,
can be
Judge.
both a lawyer and a
I'm not yet
detective.
prepared to offer an opinion.
Well, Layton is not a detective, but you know, he detects things.
Did you know Marston before he arrived here today?
I knew his father, the Duke, and his elder brother. Like so many younger sons of his class, Anthony Marsden was a bit of a wastrel, as you will have gathered. There were other rumors of late, of his dabbling in politics, but this is not the proper forum for that discussion.
I mean, it's dead anyway. You can. I'm pretty sure you can say whatever you want.
What do you think that record means?
May I answer that in a moment after asking a question of my own?
Of course.
Does anyone know Mr. Owen's full name?
My letter was signed only U.N. Owen.
Yes, U.N. Owen. Or, by a slight stretch of fancy, unknown. I'll now answer your question, Mr. Narracott. The name, the recording, the circumstances under which all but you were lured to this island. I have no doubt in my mind that we have been invited here by a madman, very possibly a dangerous, homicidal lunatic.
Well, that was a lot of detecting by I guess, a judge also kind of has to get the full picture
Why did you retire, Judge?
to judge.
I know there was talk about my competence, even my ego running wild, but the truth of it is very simple. My health. A lifetime sentencing my fellow man, and now a higher power has passed judgment on me.
Thank you kindly, Judge.